All right, so my example was, let's see. So, yeah, I just read an article that, oh man, sorry. Oh, okay, yeah. So my example is just on the asset protections that come from a limited partnership. Was just the article I read. I posted. I can give you all the link to the article, but it just basically said what will cover you as an investor if you're a limited partner, and what you can lose. So I did with my question, like, what can a limited partner lose in the event that a creditor comes after the business you invested in? And then the answer is just the original amount of his or her investment.
Sweet. The article that I read, it was from a law office, and it talked about how there's a problem with limited liability companies having creditor protection after the January 2014 enactment of the California Revised Uniform Limited Liability Company Act. That was long. The problem is that an LLC is not as protective of the owner's interest as a limited partnership. So it's giving many companies the idea to transition from an LLC to a limited partnership so that manager-managed LLCs will simply form or convert to a limited partnership where they may become a limited partner without doing damage to the partnership. So it was a really short article, but I was like, I really don't know what it's saying, but I mean, it sounded good.
Yeah, my example was New Jersey tax courts are making decisions on how to tax partnership entities as they're not defined as a taxable entity, even if they were required to withhold tax payments on behalf of their non-resident partners. So they had a situation where the National Auto Dealers Exchange Limited Partnership was a Delaware company, and they did business in New Jersey with a limited partner, Mayhem New Jersey Investments Incorporated. And since one of the partners was not a resident of New Jersey, they only had to pay tax on their portion of the income. Anyhow, in 2014, the courts required that, they had to withhold tax for the non-resident part. But because of this discrimination now, partnerships with non-resident partners are considering challenging the rule. So in 2018, this month, the courts agreed and rejected the division's assertion that the partnerships are taxable entities under the CET statute. So anyhow, I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, you'd think this stuff wouldn't be that confusing since it's just like LLCs, but for articles, I feel like it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I saw. So I was like, oh, it's like 2 minutes. And after like an hour of looking through articles and like not coming up with anything that sounded, I was like, all right, I'm just going to go with an example of what a limited partnership can do for you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so what question you guys want to do?
It doesn't matter. We can do whichever one.
We can do yours.
Okay.
It seemed the easiest, most straightforward. Mine was confusing.
So
Ditto.
Feedback. So let's see here. So I'm just setting up the formatting. All right, so for the feedback, for the original answer, I just said the original amount of his investment. Feedback, this is the correct answer. Or they're only liable. The investor is only liable for his herd investment. Unless they take a management role. Pretty sure that's the case in limited partnerships. Is if they can lose it if they take an active role in the business.
Yeah, because all they need is a partnership agreement.
Yeah. Takes control over the business. Yeah. So, as long as they're not in control. Okay, so incorrect answer number 1, we can say what?
Or do you want a split screen?
Oh yeah, sorry, man.
Mm.
There you go. Is that better?
Sweet, yeah.
Okay, so incorrect, we could say they can have their assets seized. Seized. Have their assets seized by a creditor.
Another one could be they lose everything. I guess the partnership loses it, or the business loses everything as a whole.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be true though, right? Like if they lost everything and then a creditor came after them.
Well, isn't it saying that a limited partner, only one partner loses his or her own investment?
Well, if the limited partner, only the partner who's not in control, they're just like, hey, I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to give you money, but I'm going to lose my money if the business goes under. But if the person who's actually in charge, they can lose everything.
Oh yeah.
So
I thought both partners could lose everything.
This article I was read, it said that so it says the limited partner's liability is limited to the original investment he made in the company.
Right.
To prevent creditors from going after the entire assets of a company because they usually exceed the limited partner's original investment. Oh, maybe it's if the limited partner is getting creditors after him.
Yeah, it says in the book that a limited partner contributes capital and receives a specific share of the profits, but does not participate in the management, so they are not held personally liable for the partnership obligations. So you're right.
Perfect. Cool.
Beyond the amount of, his or her capital contribution. They just lose their investment, whatever they contributed.
Be held personally responsible.
Yeah, it says personally liable for partnership obligations beyond their capital contribution.
All right, and then so we'll do another incorrect. The limited partner can be okay. So what can after business, the original investment, so
But the limited partner could lose everything and be personally seized upon is incorrect?
I think that kind of fits in with that. Maybe we can do like they cannot be touched. They will not, or they will not lose anything. Because, you know, they'll still lose their original investment.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe we should put they will not be liable for anything, or no, we'll just say lose. That makes more sense. And then last one.
We could say like B and C are correct.
Oh yeah. Or all of the above.
Oh yeah. That's right. Because obviously the
B and C, because A is like clearly not. There's a different answer than the rest of them, or situation, right. I guess.
Yeah, B and C. Well, you don't want B and C because
do they show up randomly?
Yeah, it might show up randomly, or.
Well, I don't think they do, or did they? Because we have those other groups do it sometimes, and they seem to line up right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just copies and pastes it, and then he like goes and edits it.
Yeah. So, okay. Should we not do B and C, or do like? Well, I think people will know, you know, A, B, C, D.
But B and C, I mean, B says that they will, you know, have their assets seized, but they won't lose anything.
Oh. All right. So let's say, let's go A and B.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense. Good looking out.
There you go.
Yeah, that looks better.
It cannot be held personally liable. Maybe we'll take away the only, because that kind of, well, no, whatever, it's okay. This will, will lose their investment. That's going to be the feedback for all of them.
Well, I feel like that's what other groups do.
Yeah.
They just like copy and paste the same thing for all their feedback.
Yeah. You know, in answer A, to make it a little bit, the investor, it's the limited partner who will only lose its investment, but the general partner will be held liable for all the debts. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll say the limited partner.
Yeah, I would, just to make it clear. The limited partner
is only liable for his or her, unless they
yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So I'll get rid of all of this business here. And then, cool. And do we have to have it formatted or something? I can't remember. Group 2. Oh well. Okay, and I'll put this link in there, and then we can get things going. Cool.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I guess we should read Janice's example.
Oh yeah.
So hers is a November 2017 article in EY reported that New Jersey tax court ruled that the Preserve 2 was instead a limited partnership as listed was deemed a general partner. The court determined that the Preserve 2 blurred distinctions between 4 separate groups, all subsidies of the Pulte Home Group, because the court found the Preserve 2 officers worked exclusively for the Poltz Group home building business, not to further a separate passive investment function. As they stated, as the stated intentions for the Preserve 2, the ruling stated that the Preserve 2 initially took part in the partnership's New Jersey business, thus acting as a general partner. The court also found that they were significant integrations and independence between the partnership's sharing of officers, financing, and employee medical and benefit plans. In sum, Preserve was as much a general partner as the other corporate general partners. Cool. All right.
So is that relatively similar to Valerie's?
Yeah. Oh, is it right?
Yeah.
Or was it the same article?
I think it just had different groups. Like mine was an auto group.
Oh.
So, but it's interesting. It happened in, New Jersey, the same.
Right.
Yeah. All right,
So
well,
are we supposed to do our case or group presentation too?
That's
next week, right? Are you guys okay with doing it next week?
Yeah, next week's cool. I haven't had time to read it yet.
Yeah, I haven't done anything for it either.
I can't remember if it was this week or next week.
Yeah, week 10's we have to do it by like Thursday of week 10 or Wednesday or something. So if we meet on Tuesday, we can just set up a PowerPoint like we did last time and submit it. So
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll submit this. I'll put the link in the document and call it good.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to you later, guys.
See you next week.